Today our topic is the difference between Stoicism and Cynicism. Stoicism and Cynicism are two ancient philosophies that have influenced many people over the centuries. Both teach us how to live a good life, but they have different approaches and ideas. Understanding these differences can help us decide which philosophy might work best for us in our own lives. Let's start by looking at what Stoicism and Cynicism are, and then we will compare them to see how they are different. Stoicism is a philosophy that was founded in ancient Greece by a man named Zeno of Citium. It teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot control. The Stoics believe that the key to happiness is to live in harmony with nature and to accept whatever happens in life with calmness and strength. They say that we should not let our emotions control us, but instead, we should use reason and logic to guide our actions. The Stoics also believe in virtue, which means being a good person with qualities like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. They think that if we live a virtuous life, we will find peace and happiness, no matter what happens around us. Cynicism, on the other hand, was founded by a man named Diogenes of Cynic. Cynicism is much more extreme than Stoicism. The Cynics believe that the way to live a good life is to reject all the things that society values, like money, fame, and power. They think that these things are meaningless and only cause problems. Instead, the Cynics live a very simple life, often without any possessions or comforts. They believe that true freedom comes from not needing anything and not caring about what other people think of them. Diogenes, the most famous Cynic, even lived in a barrel and owned almost nothing. He wanted to show people that they could be happy without all the things that society tells us we need. Now that we know what Stoicism and Cynicism are, let's look at the differences between them. The first big difference is in their attitudes towards society and material possessions. Stoics do not reject society or material things completely. They believe that it is okay to have possessions and to be part of society, as long as we do not become too attached to these things. Stoics think that we should use our money and possessions wisely, but we should not let them control us. If we lose them, we should not be too upset, because we know that they are not the most important things in life. Cynics, on the other hand, completely reject society and material possessions. They believe that these things are the source of all our problems, and that we should live without them. Cynics think that the only way to be truly free is to have nothing and to depend on no one. Another difference between Stoicism and Cynicism is how they view emotions. Stoics believe that emotions are natural, but they should not control us. They think that we should use reason to understand our emotions and to make sure that we do not act impulsively. For example, if we feel angry, we should not immediately shout or do something we might regret. Instead, we should take a moment to think about why we are angry and what the best way to respond is. Cynics, on the other hand, do not worry much about emotions. They believe that emotions are not important and that we should not let them affect us. Cynics are more focused on living a simple life and not caring about what happens around them. They might laugh at something that makes other people angry or sad, because they do not think it is important. A third difference is how Stoics and Cynics view virtue. Both philosophies believe that virtue is important, but they have different ideas about what it means. Stoics think that virtue is the highest good and that it is the key to a happy life. They believe that we should always try to be wise, courageous, just, and self-disciplined. If we live a virtuous life, we will be happy no matter what happens to us. Cynics also believe in virtue, but they think that the most important virtue is freedom. They believe that we should be free from all the things that society values, like money, fame, and power. For Cynics, freedom is the highest good, and they think that we should do whatever it takes to be free, even if it means living a very simple and uncomfortable life. Another important difference is how Stoics and Cynics view relationships with other people. Stoics believe that we should care about other people and try to help them. They think that we are all part of a larger community and that we have a duty to be good to others. Stoics believe in justice and fairness, and they think that we should treat everyone with respect and kindness. Cynics, on the other hand, do not care much about relationships with other people. They believe that most people are too focused on material things and social status, and they think that these things are not important. Cynics might help others if they feel like it, but they do not believe that they have any special duty to do so. They are more focused on their own freedom and independence. One more difference is how Stoics and Cynics view the world. Stoics believe that the world is governed by reason, and that everything happens for a reason. They think that we should accept whatever happens in life, because it is part of a larger plan. Stoics believe that we should not complain or get upset when things go wrong, because we cannot change them. Instead, we should focus on what we can control, which is our own thoughts and actions. Cynics, on the other hand, do not believe that the world is governed by reason. They think that the world is chaotic, and that there is no grand plan. Cynics believe that we should not worry about what happens in the world, because it is out of our control. Instead, we should focus on living a simple and free life, without caring about what happens around us. In conclusion, Stoicism and Cynicism are two very different philosophies, even though they both teach us how to live a good life. Stoicism is more moderate and balanced. It teaches us to live in harmony with nature, to use reason to guide our actions, and to focus on what we can control. Stoics believe in virtue, justice, and kindness, and they think that we should care about other people. Cynicism, on the other hand, is more extreme. It teaches us to reject society and material possessions, to live a simple life, and to focus on our own freedom and independence. Cynics do not care much about emotions, relationships, or what happens in the world. Both philosophies have valuable lessons, and we can learn from both of them. The important thing is to think about which philosophy resonates more with us, and how we can apply its teachings to our own lives. Whether we choose to follow Stoicism, Cynicism, or a combination of both, the goal is the same: to live a good and meaningful life.